Okay, hopefully I should be online on YouTube. So good evening, YouTube. If I'm there, pardon me. I hope I'm there. Yep, audio input capture, video capture device. Yep, that's all working. I've got a bit of a problem. I'm not showing up on Reddit, but I'm sure that that's something that I'm doing wrong, and I will change that in a couple of minutes. This broadcast was removed because it broke the community rules. Okay, let's start streaming again. Okay. Oh. I have this with the U show quite often, so let's try that again. Right. Please double check your stream key. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, okay, start stream. Okay, let's start the stream. Let's see what happens there. I don't understand why it broke the community guidelines, but I have a bit of a problem. They don't like anybody that's disabled on Reddit, which I find slightly annoying. So let's see where we go from there. Right, okay. Let's see if we're online yet. Not looking good so far. Not looking good so far. So let's just see. Okay, well I'll just have to talk to YouTube then, even though there's nobody watching on YouTube, which is a waste of everybody's time, I think. Which is a shame, but there we go. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. And I wonder why this isn't going out properly on RPAN. I don't know. It should be. It's looking like it is. I'm also going out on Twitch as well. Again, I've got no viewers, which is not surprising. Not surprising at all. Right. Let's have a look at the countdown. Oh, I'm still waiting for it to go live on Reddit, but we'll proceed. We'll proceed as if it is. Okay, we'll proceed as if we are live on Reddit, and we'll see what happens as we go along. I've had a lot of problems with Reddit. They keep ending my broadcast because they break the community standards, although they won't tell me what community standards they break. So that's always going to be a bit of a problem with Reddit, and I don't know what it is that I've done wrong. I had a lot of them ended a couple of weeks back because they thought I was streaming from a pedal bike, and it turns out that I'm not. I'm streaming from a wheelchair because I'm disabled, and I don't think I've broken any community rules, but for some reason, oh wait a minute, I've got 12 watchers, so hello Reddit, are you there? Am I getting out? That is the question. Am I getting out? Because I've had a bit of a problem so far. So let's have a look and see if we can find myself. That's the answer. See if I can find myself on Reddit. If I can find myself on Reddit, then I know that I'm getting out. If I can't, then I won't. I've got no idea. Nope, I can't see myself. I cannot see myself anywhere. Let's do a control refresh. It says that I've got 12 watchers, so where are you watching me? You 12 watchers, whereabouts are you watching me? Where am I? I'm not seeing myself on Reddit at all, so I don't know where I am. Nope. Put me in clueless corner on that one. Put me in clueless corner. I'm not seeing myself on Reddit at all. So I've got no idea what's going on there. What am I doing here? Twitch. Let's have a look and see what's going on Twitch. See if I'm working on Twitch as well. Okay. Yeah, we're going out on Twitch. That's good. Right. Okay. So we're going out on Twitch. We're going out on YouTube, which is not going out on Reddit. Why can't I find myself? Why can't I find myself? Grand MC. Hello, Grand MC on YouTube. Who is Grand MC? Who are you? It's nice. It's nice to actually see somebody. Hi, Corey Lawrence as well. Hi, how are you? I'm struggling at the moment because for some reason I should be going out on Reddit, but I'm not, and I can't work out why. I've been fine. Oh no, that's a lie. I haven't been fine, Corey. I haven't been fine. I've been a bit shit really. I've been struggling for the last 2 weeks with a virus. I picked up a virus not Sunday, just gone the Sunday before that. I started with a bit of a virus, but that's my own fault because I pushed the envelope a bit, and I've been out a couple of times during the week, and it's caught up with me because I wanted to make some films of central London, some films showing off my city, and which you can see on my YouTube, the 360-degree films that I made. But I think that I pushed the envelope a bit and I got too close to people and I picked up a virus. That's the biggest problem with having cancer, that because my cancer's, I've got a blood cancer, which means I am severely immunocompromised. That means that I catch anything that's going around, and when I do catch it, I can't fight it off like other people. So for the last 2 weeks, I've actually been quite ill, especially last Thursday and Friday. I was almost hospitalised, but we've come through it. We've come through it, thankfully. My partner's come down with it about 4 days after me, and it turns out it's just an ordinary cold, but it hit me a lot harder than it hit her. That's one of the things that you have for being with having cancer. So that's one of the things that I've got to live with. Other than that, it's been a busy week. How have you been? How have you guys been? I'm still not. I'm live. Okay, I'm live. Right, I'm live. I'm live on Reddit, although I can't see myself on Reddit. Okay, thank you, Pluck You and Scotch Slap. Now this is interesting. This is interesting because normally it's always all the audience is on Reddit, okay, and there's hardly anybody on YouTube or Twitch. But tonight, for some reason, I've got one viewer on Twitch. Hello, one viewer on Twitch. How you doing? Say hello, don't be shy. And I've got 3 viewers on YouTube. I've got currently 11 watchers on Reddit. So at the moment, Reddit's in the lead. But I did something a bit different this week. I actually scheduled this live stream on YouTube a couple of days ago. But I still can't find myself on Reddit, and I can't work out why. I should be going out in the U show. So the 2 guys that are talking to me, fuck you. That is his username, fuck you, but he spelt it with a PH, so I know what he's talking about. Fuck you and Scotch Stap. Am I in the U show? Because the only way I can tell is to stop the stream and then restart it again. And I don't want to do it if it's actually working, because it's going to be a bit funny. So let's have a look and see. I should be in the U show. I've probably done something stupid. I'm probably going out in the Gamer Lounge or something stupid like that. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with Reddit. Nope, I can't see myself. I've got no idea where I am. I'm probably broadcasting somewhere. Right, let's get down to business. The beer of the day. The beer of the day. Look at that. Look, I'm actually drinking Red Stripe Lager, which I've drunk in. It's Jamaica's national drink. Red Stripe Lager. I don't know if you know. It's Jamaica's national beer, and I've actually drunk it in Jamaica, Ocho Rios to be precise, and Kingston, and I think it's great. And it's Red Stripe, and it says on the can Jamaican lager beer. Serve ice cold, which it is, and you think, oh yeah, that's great. You know, that's going to be Jamaican beer, except it's not Jamaican beer at all. No, it's not Jamaican beer. It just says Jamaican beer, but it's a lie. You've actually got to look at it closely, and on the side it says brewed in the UK by Heineken UK Limited. So it's not a Jamaican beer. It says it's Jamaican beer, but it's brewed with English water in an English brewery by a Dutch company. Tell me how that is Jamaican. Tell me how that's Jamaican. It's not. And I hate that with beer. They mislabel beer something terrible. Virtually all the beers you get in this country that you think you're getting these exotic beers, like, I mean, I love San Miguel. San Miguel's a beautiful lager. I love it. Thank you, I'm going to digress for a minute. Planting Claymore, thank you very much. I can't find myself on the U show, so I've got a bit of a problem there. So I don't know what's going on with Reddit. So it can't find me, or rather, I can't find myself. So I'll worry about that. I'll worry about that later. But thank you, Planting Claymore, and greetings from Las Vegas. The reason I need to see myself is because I've got RPAN on my top monitor, and that is it's a bit far away, so I've got to really struggle and look up to see it. But if I put it, I suppose I could put RPAN. Yeah, fuck it, I'll put RPAN down. If I can't find myself on the U show in a minute, I will put RPAN down on my big monitor, so that I don't have to keep looking up like a twat to look for people. Anyway, my voice is a bit rough. Sorry, like I said, it's because I've had this virus for 2 weeks. It really has taken 2 weeks to get over it, and it really knocked me on my arse on Thursday and Friday last week. In fact, I didn't stream last Friday because of this virus. It really knocked me on my feet. My temperature hit 39.3. Which is one of the things that you get, one of the things that you have with cancer, that you've got to be so careful of things like that. It's also been a very busy week cancer-wise. On Monday, I was supposed to go to hospital to have something called a lower mandible advancement device fitted. I know, try saying that when you've had a few. Oh no, I was on about the beer, wasn't I? Yeah, oh yeah, the great beer con. Hi King V702, greetings from Los Angeles, he says, or greetings from London. How you doing? Yeah, it's not Jamaican beer at all, and it's like all beers in this country, no matter where you think you're buying them from, they're not. I mean, there's a Japanese beer, Asahi, super dry, which you think is Japanese. There, I found myself. Right, okay, good, cool. That means I don't have to struggle to watch you, to talk to you guys, right? YouTube has dropped. We're now down to 1 viewer on YouTube, so obviously I'm managing to entertain the people on Reddit, but the people on Reddit, right, Parker Woodley, Parker Woodley on YouTube says, how is Asahi not Japanese? It's not Japanese because it's never seen Japan in its life. All right, if you pick up a bottle if you buy a bottle in the UK, right, and you look on the back, it says brewed in Italy by Marathi, okay, and imported into the UK by Heineken. So the only thing Japanese about it is its name, because it's using Italian water, Italian hops, and Italian malt, and then they import it by a Dutch company into the United Kingdom. So that's why it's not Japanese, even though it looks Japanese and it says it's Japanese, but it's not. You've only got to look on the side of the bottle. It's like I say, this one, red stripe, right? Look. Let's hold it up to the camera. All right, Jamaican lager beer. Okay. Now, if you've ever been to Jamaica like I have, red stripe really is their national drink. All right, Jamaican lager beer. It's not until you read the side, and I can't tip it up because I've got beer in it. Oh, hang on, I've got an open one. It's not until you read the side that you realise, look, can we get that on the camera? There we go, yep. Brewed in the UK by Heineken. See, look, it says there, Jamaican lager beer, and right next to it, it says brewed in the UK. How is that Jamaican? All right? How is that Jamaican? And here's a little test for you guys, right? Can you say, this is a can of beer, so can you say beer can without sounding like a Jamaican wanting bacon? Try it. Right. Planting Claymore on Reddit says it's marketing, isn't it? Yeah, it is marketing, but I think it's a bit of a con, because I like Red Stripe. It is an acquired taste. It is a nice beer, Red Stripe, when you're in Jamaica. It's a lovely beer. It's thirst quenching. I mean, when you've had a few joints, and it's really hot in Jamaica, it's a great way to quench your beer. Planting Claymore on Reddit says that it's like crisps, or for you Americans, that's chips. Walker's roast chicken will show me a plate of roast chicken, but it's just crisps, chips. He falls for it every time. That's not the worst one, my friend Planting Claymore. That's not the worst one by a long way. The biggest con out there is instant coffee, because it ain't. I kid you not, it ain't. You open up the jar and it doesn't. You've actually got to do things. That is the biggest con. Be aware of that. Don't get caught out like I did and buy a jar of instant coffee, because it's not. Yeah, just be warned. Why am I wearing a hat? Because I bought this hat during the week. The reason I bought this hat during the week is because if you look at my head, see, chemotherapy, which I'm on at the moment, is starting to cause me to lose my hair. I've literally lost all my hair from the belly button downwards. No, I'm not kidding, from the belly button downwards. I'm not going to show you, obviously. But the chemotherapy I'm on has caused me to lose my hair. Yep, there. Yep, it's gone. I was in the shower the other day and it just started falling out. And I thought, oh, okay. But then that's not really a problem. That solves the hygiene issue, really, doesn't it? And on my legs it's gone. In fact, I was wearing shorts the other week, and my mate came round and he looked at me and he said, "Are you a cross-dresser?" I said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He said, "Are you a cross-dresser?" And I said, "Well, no." I said, "Why do you think that?" He said, "You shave your legs so that you can't see your hair through your stockings." I said, "Well, I'm not wearing stockings and I don't shave my legs." He said, "Yeah, you do. Look, you've got no hair on your legs." And I looked down and he was right. All the hair on my legs is gone. It's just vanished. The same thing is happening to my head. I've just disconnected on. Oh, we're back on. Yeah, we're back on Reddit. I've just disconnected for a second there. So I've started to lose the hair on my head now, and that's starting to come out in chunks. And that's why I've got a hat. So I bought myself a new hat. It's a Trilby. I thought I'd wear that. Right, okay. We're still not working on Reddit, I don't think. Let's try again. I don't know what's up with Reddit tonight. I've had a lot of problems. So I bought myself this hat, and that's why I've got it, because it's now, we're now coming out of spring into summer in the UK, and despite what a lot of people think, we actually get some decent temperatures here. I mean, the average daily temperature now is, I mean, it was 24 today, which is very hot for there, but it's going to be 20-ish for the next few months, and it's going to be quite fierce sun. And when I've lost my hair like that, I'm going to get seriously sunburnt. So I had to buy myself a hat. So I don't know what you think. I actually think it's quite a nice hat. It's a Trilby, so that's why I'm wearing it. I'm breaking it in, but it's a bit hot. It's a bit hot at the moment. Can't go wrong. You go well with a Trilby. I know. I've got another Trilby. All right, this is my summer Trilby. This is white. Okay, this is white. This is my winter Trilby. All right, there we go. There's my winter Trilby. Difference is it's got a feather on the side. All right, so I've actually got a feather in my cap. So that's my winter Trilby. So let's take that off. And let's put my summer Trilby back on. There we go. If it gets really sunny, I've got a fedora, which is basically a Trilby with a really wide brim. So that's that. Right. Okay. Reddit has seen off YouTube. All right. We've got one viewer on Twitch and no viewers on YouTube. So Reddit has seen off YouTube. No, if you can get sunburn in the UK, you're pretty pale. Yeah, okay. You haven't got a clue, have you? You haven't got a clue. Yes, you can get sunburn in the UK, and especially you can get sunburn in the UK when A, you're losing your hair through chemotherapy, and B, the chemotherapy chemicals themselves increase your sensitivity to sunlight. So which is one thing that's one thing that they don't tell you about chemotherapy. There's lots of things they don't tell you about chemotherapy. One thing they don't tell you is some of the chemicals in chemotherapy actually increase your sensitivity to sunlight, so you do have to stay away from sunlight, which is why I've got the hat, because I don't want, now the hair that's on my head is going, I don't want to end up with a blistering bald head. So that's that. Not as bad off as Seattle. People who visit Vegas for a week, yeah. Yeah, no, I can believe that. I can believe that, West Coast Black Hawk. I mean, we've got it here, right? Easter weekend normally is the first sunny weekend of the year. So everybody's been locked away for 6 months, and then suddenly they all go out on Easter and they end up looking like lobsters the next day. And it really is ridiculous the way that happens in the UK. Planty Claymore, yeah, I like Red Stripe. I do like Red Stripe. It is a nice beer. I like to try different beers each week. And like I say, this week it's Red Stripe, but as we've discovered, it's not Jamaican beer. How did you do with the beer can challenge? Did anybody manage to say, come on guys, can any of you say beer can without sounding like a Jamaican saying bacon? Come on, anyone? Try it, got beer can. Right. Yes, photosensitization, that sucks. Yeah, it does. It's just one of the many problems. So I'm talking about living with cancer, which is what I've got. I've got follicular lymphoma. All right, that is also known as non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a blood cancer. It's incurable. The cancer I've got, I mean, yeah, lucky me, eh? If you're going to get a cancer, get an incurable one. So I did. And it's been part of my life since 2013 now. So I'm a 9-year cancer survivor. I've fought this bitch 3 times, and Hibicus 3 followed me. Hi Hibicus 3. I've fought this bitch 3 times, and I've beaten it 3 times. Well, I had radiotherapy in 2014 on my neck. I had a lump on the side of my neck. One of the tumours was actually on the side of my neck, a golf ball sized tumour on the side of my neck, which I really hated, because every time I looked in the mirror, I saw myself with a tumour, and it's this big lump staring at me saying, look, I'm cancer, I'm eating you internally, I'm going to kill you, what do you think about that? And I thought, okay, well, fuck you, I'm going to get rid of you. And I did. So we had the radiotherapy to get rid of that, and that cured that bit of the problem with the cancer there. So the tumour's vanished and it has not appeared again. And I went on quite happily, just suffering a few minor side effects, which are overwhelming fatigue and night sweats. Oh, the night sweats. Oh, I can't tell you how bad the night sweats are. They are. You've got to get up and you've got to change your bedding and you've got to change your bedclothes. It's just, they are drenching. I also get them during the day, and like I said, if you missed it earlier, for the last 2 weeks I've been fighting a virus, which I'll come back to again in a minute. But on Thursday of last week, my temperature hit 39.3. To give you an idea of how high a fever that is, I did the dishes that night, and I'm standing there in the kitchen washing the dishes up by hand, and I've looked down on the floor and I've thought, how the hell did I spill water on the floor because I'm standing in a puddle? It wasn't water, it was the sweat pouring off of me. I looked down and it was literally pouring off of me like I just stepped out of the shower. That's how it was. Let me just stop. Left Coast Black Hawk. I knew a guy who was dying of various cancers for over 25 years while working at GM. I take it it's General Motors, in the paint booth. He made it into retirement, and a few years after that. Yeah, I don't have various cancers. I have one, and I'm not dying of it. I'm living with it. There's a bit of a difference. I'm not. I don't know whether your guy that was dying is. What I will tell you is that you can't use the word cancer in the title of any live stream that you do on Reddit, because if you do, they'll end the stream. The reason that you can't use it, and it took me ages to find out why, and it was only the mod of another subreddit that told me about it, and it may be inaccurate, but it makes sense. The reason you can't do it is because people have used cancer to con other people. They've pretended to have cancer to con other people into giving them money. I'm not going to ask you for money. I'm not going to ask you for money. I'm not, There's a thing up there. You can tip me if you want, but I'm not going to sit here and ask you for money. I'm not a panhandler. I'm just here to talk to you. And you're not here to give me anything. I'm here to give you something. In fact, you are giving me something. You're giving me your time and your sense of community, because you guys have kept me sane for the last over 2 years. For the last over 2 years, because I'm immunocompromised, I've been stuck indoors up until just recently, and I think my mental health would have seriously suffered if I hadn't discovered streaming. So I'm not here to ask you for anything. So I don't know. When somebody says they're dying of various cancers, I always take it with a pinch of salt, because I have come across some people over the years that have claimed to have cancer when in fact they haven't, and they're just doing it to make money. I don't know. Your guy might have been a medical impossibility. He might have been. I mean, glad for him. It's one of those things. But I really do have cancer. Look, I really do. Here you go. Oh. There you go. Look, there's a list of my latest. Oh, you can't see it because my green screen keeps doing it. Oh, right. There's that came in the other day. That's just a list of some of the treatments I've had, and if you can read that, if you're clever enough, you can read it. You can see. It actually says Stephen Woodmore. Diagnosis: follicular lymphoma, 2013, stage 3, grade 1. Management: first line 2014 ISRT, right cervical LN. ISRT is radiotherapy. Second line 6 times R bendamustine CMR. That's complete medical resolution. That's not cured. That's resolution. July 2017. Rituximab maintenance until January 2019. 10 of 12 doses completed due to recurrent LTRI, chest sepsis, which is something I will cover a bit later. My responses were clinical resolution of B symptoms and abdominal pain. Radiologically, PET-CT scan showed progression of lymphoma October 2020, so they restarted me on chemotherapy again, which was rituximab and lenalidomide and steroids, prednisolone, until 30th of September, when I stopped because of problems back in September. So, and we're back on February 2022. Progression likely due to treatment interruptions and/or subtherapeutic doses. So that's a diagnosis. Or it's not a diagnosis. My haematologist keeps me in touch by giving me a synopsis of the consultations we had, and I had a consultation with the haematologist today on the phone. Right, let's just go through. Oh, thank you, Planting Claymore. I mean, like I said, it's a two-way street, so I enjoy it. I keep referring to this in other weeks that somebody said to me, you're the coolest old guy on Reddit, and I take that as I'm going to take this hat off because I'm getting hot in here. Temperature's gone up. It's 19 degrees outside, so it's probably about 30 in here at the moment. I've got some fans and I will turn them up. Let's turn that one up. Actually, I quite like the hat. The hat works, doesn't it? The hat works. Yeah, the hat works. Oh, the hat works. Okay, the hat works. Right. Oh fuck, where was I? That's not an age thing. That's something called chemo fog, which I can talk about. Yes, you help people too by streaming. Yes, so yeah, it's thank you. That's it's a symbiosis. That's the word I'm looking for. Symbiosis. You guys help me. You keep my mental health. You really have. You have no idea how much being on my own for 2 years was. No, that's very disingenuous to my partner, because my partner's been with me all the way through. How much being away from people really affected me for 2 years, and I'm glad it's over now. To hell with the consequences. I'm not going back to doing that again. I can't. But discovering streaming was for me fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I think I would have cracked up. I think I would have got cabin fever, stir crazy. You call it what you want. That's what I think would have happened. Let me just go through. We've lost all of our YouTube viewers, so Reddit has once again wiped the floor with YouTube. So, and we've still got one Twitch viewer. Now, I'm absolutely convinced that this Twitch viewer is some sort of robot, because I only give I only get one sort of. Well, I'm pausing because I've just seen somebody's username on Reddit. Nipple cunt. Nipple cunt. Okay. there's a. You have no idea of the images that brings to mind. No idea of the images at all. Well, I guess it saves travelling, doesn't it? You know, it probably saves about a metre of travelling. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It saves your tongue about a metre. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, it saves your tongue about a metre. So where the fuck was I? Yeah, Twitch. So Twitch, and there's only one person that's watching on Twitch, and no people watching on YouTube. But those are not YouTube's figures. I'm using a service called Restream to restream on YouTube, and it's showing me with no viewers. So that could be a bit of a lie. That could be a bit of a lie. Right. Odd that interacting Reddit, which is essentially concentrated crazy, has kept you sane. It's not actually. You might think that Reddit is concentrated crazy. Actually, Reddit is a phenomenal resource for research. It really is. And it actually took me by surprise, which is how I discovered Reddit in the first place, which I'll tell you about if you like in a minute. Let me just say hi to some people that have said hi to me. So Nipple Cunt, hi. You know, it's a good username. Okay, good username. I like it. Your mate, your friend, your pal, your chum, I don't know what you call them, mate, made quite a nice pile of cash working for General Motors with the health benefits. They were pretty good, so he did okay. I'm good. I'm glad. I actually had to give up work. I was forced to retire. I'm not, retirement age in the UK is 67, and believe me, I'm not 67. I'm 62, so it's not quite 67, but I had to retire at 59. I was a cab driver, which really hurt me, which is a very social thing. If you've ever been in a London cab, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Although I wasn't a London black cab driver, I drove for Uber. But it's a very social job. You're constantly talking to your passengers. And then I had to pack that in as well, so it became a real wasteland of 2 years, which is why streaming has helped me, which is unfortunate that I can't really tell you about cancer in the title, because the moderators will remove it, because so many other people in the past have abused it to try and get people to give them money. It's just absolutely crazy. I don't understand why. I don't understand why somebody would pretend to have this disease, alright? When you've got it, living with it is an absolute fucking nightmare. And why you pretend to have it, I don't know. It's also very hard to pretend you've got it. It's very hard, and I can normally spot somebody straight away and think, yeah, right, okay, you're lying for a start, because I don't exhibit any of the symptoms. But people fall for it, and it's just crazy. I mean, I'm doing quite well because I'm streaming for what, an hour and a half, 2 hours tonight, and I can put on an act. I can manage to look quite normal for that amount of time. But if you've seen my pub streams, which we'll talk about in a little while, you'll know that I am actually disabled and I am in a wheelchair. Although I'm not in a wheelchair right now, I'm sitting in a computer chair. My wheelchair's in the other room because I've got some mobility. Not a lot of mobility, but I've got some mobility. But I need a wheelchair when I'm outside. Yeah, Reddit was. I discovered Reddit as being a fantastic research resource. I make a lot of videos, and I use After Effects and I use Adobe Premiere. I'm fairly good with Adobe Premiere, but After Effects is a motion graphics program, and it's a very steep learning curve. I'm okay with it. I can do what I need to do with After Effects, but at first it was a steep learning curve, and I kept in my head, I had the idea of what it was I wanted to do, but I didn't have the technical skills to do it. You can watch YouTube videos, but sometimes you need to actually interact and talk with people. So I started doing researches on Google, how do I do XXX? And time after time after time, the top result will come back as R Adobe or R Photoshop or R Premiere or R After Effects on Reddit. Now, up until that point, I've always avoided Reddit because I've always thought Reddit and what's the other one, 4chan, right? Reddit and 4chan are for, like you say, crazies and children. That's how that was my image of Reddit in my head. But I decided to go and look, and I did, and I was quite impressed actually with the level of technical knowledge that was being displayed in these subreddits. And I asked my question, and I got some sensible answers. I also got some twats, but I mean, you do, it's the internet. Hey, Grand MC is back on YouTube, which also proves to me that YouTube is lying to me, because I can see him chatting to me on YouTube, but Restream says that I've got no YouTube viewers. So Restream is lying. I have at least one YouTube viewer. So hi, Grand MC. I'm glad you're back. So yeah, Reddit, in that respect, Reddit turned out to be a valuable resource, and the more I've dug into Reddit, the more I find that it is actually a very knowledgeable resource. Yes, there's craziness. I mean, things like weird or things like Artifu. I like that. I think I fucked up. That's actually great. It's a great subreddit, and weird is a great subreddit as well. But amongst them, there's some very serious subreddits. Grand MC on YouTube asks how old I am. I'm 62 years old. I'm 63 in December, seeing as you've asked. Now, I know this sounds crazy having to translate between the two, because December Grand MC, I'm 63 in December. It's because YouTube and Twitch use 9:16 format, which is standard letterbox format for high definition, and Reddit uses 16:9, which is the vertical portrait format. So you can't use a service like Restream to stream two different outputs at the same time. You've got to either restream in 16:9 or 9:16. And if I streamed to Reddit in 16:9, you'd only get that much of the picture. It'd be like a little letterbox picture. So what I'm actually doing, and alright, somebody on Reddit has said, Patron Shifter said, learn me something good. Well, I'm just learning you something good now. How you can actually restream on YouTube, Reddit and Twitch at the same time in two different formats at exactly the same time, which is what I'm doing right now. So what I'm doing is I've got OBS, Open Broadcaster Studio, running, and that's going into Restream, and that's punching that out to both Twitch and YouTube. If I want to, I can also go out to Facebook and Twitter, but you didn't know you could stream on Twitter. Well, you can. I can also go out to Facebook and Twitter if I want, but I don't particularly want to go out on Facebook or Twitter at the moment. So that's OBS Studio, and that's streaming there. Now, OBS has also got another output called a virtual camera. Now, the OBS virtual camera is switched on, and what I've done there is with RPAN Studio, which is another copy I've got going, okay? RPAN Studio's input isn't my microphone, there's my microphone there, and it isn't my camera. No, RPAN Studio's input is the output of OBS. It's OBS's virtual camera. So I'm actually picking up OBS's virtual camera in RPAN, and then I'm rebroadcasting that over Reddit, which is why I can broadcast to 3 different services in 2 different formats at exactly the same time. Right, there you go. So that's learning you something good. Yes, did I tell you, Grand MC, my birthday's in December. I'm a Sagittarius. I was born December 1959. God, yeah, last century. So yeah, let's go for Black Hawk. Reddit is fantastic for the tech talks. There are some weird, and you're right, there are some inbred. I think there's an even inbred subreddit, but I avoid those. But for some of the tech topics, the things that I'm interested in, they're absolutely fantastic. I mean, another one that's close to my heart is the disabled subs, and I'm very obviously into them because it relates to me a lot, and the wheelchair subs as well. So there's some very helpful stuff out there. At all. Pat Gransoft says, glad you're telling me how to see more of your beautiful face. I suggest you go to an optician's. No Basket 3485. You've got to love those Reddit usernames, haven't you? You've got to love those Reddit usernames. Loves the hat. Thank you. I bought the hat because chemotherapy is causing me to lose my hair, and I don't want to end up getting sunburnt and blistered head because I'm actually photosensitive at the moment, which is something we were going to talk about. Right, let me just have a sip of my non-Jamaican beer, and again I'll throw down the challenge. Can anybody say beer can without sounding like a Jamaican sounding bacon? Come on, anybody? Anybody? Right, hang on. Oh. You're all sitting at home right now, aren't you, going, beer can, beer can. He's right. He's right, you know. I do sound like a Jamaican when I do that. When I say beer can, I sound like a Jamaican sounding bacon. Oh, there you go. There you go, yeah. Oh. Sunday nights, right. Because I have cancer, it's blood cancer, follicular lymphoma. I'm immunocompromised, which means my immune system doesn't work properly. That's why my cancer is actually in my immune system, doesn't work properly. When COVID hit in March 2020, meant that I had to give up work and I had to stay away from people. Like Plant and Claymore said earlier, when you're in a cab with me, I don't shut up. It's something you do. It's a very social thing. So for 2 years, I virtually had to keep myself locked away from people, only going out for medical appointments. But last month, I decided that I've had enough, especially as I've had 3 primary COVID vaccinations and now 2 booster vaccinations. So I'm 5 times vaccinated. So I decided last month that I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to start going out. That worked for about a week, and then, like I said, I spent the last 2 weeks fighting off a nasty virus, which really floored me and still affected my voice now. But I'm not going back to being a prisoner indoors. I can't. It's too much. I'm too much of a social person for that. I can't What's the most stirring memory? No Basket 3485 said to me, what's the most stirring memory? Probably masturbating over one of my teachers in junior school. Yeah, that's probably one of the things. But then we all do, don't we? All young boys have a crush on one of their teachers. That's probably the most stirring one. Yeah. CRD77 followed me. Thank you, CRD77, for following me. Yeah. So where was I? So I've been fighting this virus, but I've decided that I'm not gonna carry on being a prisoner, no matter what the consequences are. I mean, it's too much. I can't do it. It's even with being out to stream and everything else, it's just too much. And I've had a little bit of freedom now, and I like it, and I'm going to keep it. Which includes that on a Sunday evening at around, I can't say what time. All right, I can't say definitely what time, but it's around 7 p.m. London time, and it's, to give you an idea what London time is, it's 10:30 at night now. So around about 7:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, exclusive to Reddit only Reddit. Only because I would need 2 mobile phones to do it on 2 different formats. Only on Reddit, in the U show, I do pub stream, which is a live broadcast from me at the pub. Yeah, I actually go out to the pub and I set my cameras up and I broadcast from the pub. I'm not taking too much of a risk, because at the moment I'm doing it from outside the pub. The pub has an outside seating area and I'm doing it from outside the pub. But I think if it's going to rain or the weather turns, or as the year goes on, when the weather gets colder in autumn and winter, I'm going to have to do it inside the pub. And I'm not sure how I'm going to be there, because that's where I really put myself in danger. But yeah, I'd like you guys to join me. We chew the fat, and you watch me drink some pints. And of course this pub is fantastic, because this pub is a micro pub. Alright, now a micro pub, I don't know what they have in other countries, but a micro pub is it's basically a pub. It's not tied to a big brewery, it's not owned by a big brewery. In the UK, most of the pubs are owned by big breweries, so you've only got the choices of their beers. And to be honest with you, commercial beers taste a bit like dishwater. I don't like them. I'm a great believer in real ale, and that's what you can get in a micro pub. You get real ales from micro breweries, and this pub, my local, the Cockpit in Chislehurst, is absolutely fantastic. And they have they have 5 beers on each night, and it's a different one each different 5 all the time. They're all over the place. They are absolutely gorgeous beers, and I'm really enjoying myself. And Planting Claymore on Reddit says my pub streams are pretty cool. And yeah, I'm going to be pub streaming this Sunday night. One of my friends, I have a real life friend. One of my friends, Vivian, that's a boy's name by the way, not just a girl's name, Viv, has threatened to join me this Sunday, so that could be interesting. He's threatened to join me. Whether that'll actually happen or not, I don't know, but he's threatened to join me. And yeah, so I'll be broadcasting from the pub on Sunday evening, starting about 7 o'clock until the pub shuts, which is about 9:30. I've got no idea what I'll be talking about. It's normally after about the 3rd pint I talk about the first one, the biggest amount of shit that gets into my head. Right, yeah, my week. So Monday I was supposed to go to hospital to have something called a mandible advancement device fitted, which is a crazy little device that actually pulls my front jaw forward like that when I sleep, to make sure that I get more air into my airways, to make sure that I can breathe properly overnight. Because I had an overnight sleep test a few months back, where I had to wear this device overnight, and they discovered that I've got a lung blockage which occurs overnight, and causes me to not breathe properly. And I have what's called micro wakes. I wake up a lot I wake up a lot at night because I'm not breathing properly. I don't register being awake, but my body wakes up a lot and it's not giving me a good night's sleep. So that was due to be fitted on Monday, but they cancelled that at the last moment because the dental surgeon that was going to fit it came down with COVID. Let's go back. Did his parents name him Vivian after the young one? So he's like 55 years old, right? He was an old fart before the young ones were even thought of. I think the young one's named after him. So that's what I think happened. The young ones were named after him. He's an old fart like me. Right. What else? So yeah. So that was Monday night. It was a bit of a washout. What happened on Tuesday? Tuesday. I had something on Tuesday, something medical or something like that on Tuesday. Yes, of course. How could I forget? The lymphatic system runs through all different parts of your body. It is part of your immune system, and part of it runs around behind your ears. Like I said, I had tumours on my neck. I also had tumours behind my ears, and unfortunately they've done damage to my auditory nerves, and I'm almost, you can't see it, you can't tell, but I'm going to let you in a little secret, I am almost completely deaf. So on Tuesday was my annual hearing aid review. Yes, I do, look. There's one, and there's the other. Oh, I can't hear myself. Oh, it's all gone quiet. There's my hearing aids, look. So let me just, oh wow. Oh, it's like being underwater. Hang on, let me put them back in again. Let me put back in again. That's better. Right. Okay. Yeah, I know. I've got a lot going on. So I had my annual hearing aid review, and I went for that on 4 o'clock on Monday. And my hearing has deteriorated since my last hearing review. I have a hearing review once a year. My hearing has deteriorated by 10 decibels, taking me from into the severe, almost profoundly deaf category. I'm actually in the queue for a hearing dog. Yes, like guide dogs, you can actually get hearing dogs, and I will be getting a hearing dog eventually. But that is a long process. And I'm going through the process at the moment to help me in my day-to-day life. So yeah, I've got a lot of, as you can appreciate, I've got a lot of medical issues going on, all caused by my cancer, including deafness and a serious lung condition. But yeah, I went for my hearing aid review, And she said, because your hearing has deteriorated by a further 10 decibels, I'm going to give you a new set of hearing aids. I thought, okay, well, I was quite happy with my old hearing aids. And she said, these ones are Bluetooth. I said, what? She said, the Bluetooth. I said, what do you mean Bluetooth? She said, well, they're hearing aids and they're Bluetooth. So I said, can I connect them with my phone? She said, yeah, you can connect them to your PC if you like, and your TV. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I've got them in, and they're connected to my phone. I can actually make phone calls without touching my phone, taking it out of my pocket, because it's all done with my hearing aids. And also, I can sit on the bus and I can listen to the radio and I can watch TV and everything else. And because my hearing aids are fairly invisible, until I took them off, I bet you couldn't even spot. Can you spot them if I turn my head to the side? Can you even see that I've got hearing aids on? So they are pretty invisible. You don't look like one of these idiots that's got the cans. I mean, come on. Some of these people that have got headphones on the side of their head are, they just look like idiots, don't they? They look like Teletubbies and things like that. They look crazy. And they also spend a lot of money for. Oh, you can just see my hearing aids if I turn my head to the side. When I had long hair or longer hair, you couldn't see them at all. And the other thing is, they spend a lot of money to get quality, but it's not actually that good a quality. I mean, I've heard AirPods and I've heard the Samsung Galaxy Buds, right? And they're not actually good. Now, bear in mind that hearing aids are damned expensive pieces of audio technology. My Christ, do they reproduce music unbelievably well? Just bear with me for a second. Hello, Carson on YouTube. How you doing? Hi, my friend Tyson. Tyson is a regular on YouTube. Hi Tyson, how you doing there? How you all doing there? How's everybody doing? That's good. We're all doing well. So having these Bluetooth hearing aids has made an absolutely massive difference to me, and I can't believe what a difference it's actually made. I didn't even know that these existed. And making phone calls. Woody, get some beer out. I've got some beer. Look, I've got some beer. You've missed it all. You've missed the action. Look, I've got some beer. I'm not going to get hammered. I have no Carson. Oh, Carson. I can't talk properly. I'll tell you about that in a little while as well. Carson says, Woody, get beer out and get hammered, my guy. I've got beer. I'm not getting hammered because I do pub streams on Reddit on Sunday night, and that's when I'm going to be doing my drinking. Unfortunately, I haven't worked out how I can stream on Reddit, Twitch and YouTube from a mobile phone at the same time. I think there's a way, but I'm not 100% certain of it. I can do it on my PC, which is what I'm doing now. So my pub stream is limited to being Reddit only. So if you want to catch up with me getting hammered, which I normally do. I mean, when I'm down the pub, I knock the pints back, and by about 3 pints in, I start talking complete bollocks. And by 5 pints, I'm not making any sense at all. I don't even know who I am at 5 pints. So if you want to see, you have to catch me on pub stream, which is yeah, Teletubby confirmed here, Planted Claymore, which is I forgot where I was now. Yeah, so it starts about 7 o'clock on Sunday night, pub stream. It'll be in the U show on Reddit, so you have to come over to Reddit, because that's where the people are. I mean, to give you an example, right, on Reddit right now I've got 75 watchers, on YouTube I've got 2, and on Twitch I've got 1. I did also switch Twitter on a minute ago, and I've got none. Alright, so I'm switching it back off again because it's just a load of bollocks. Right, let's have a look. What's your tipple? Capotica? That's my tipple at the moment. I'm drinking Red Stripe lager, which is a bit of a con, because let me show you the unopened one. It's a bit of a con, right? I'm going to have a go at this because this really gets on my tits. Right, can you see that? It says Jamaican lager beer, right? Until you turn it on its side and you read that. Can you read that? Oh. Come on, camera, focus. You spend enough money on this bloody camera. There we go, right. See that? Jamaican lager beer. Brewed in the UK by Heineken. Hey, how is that Jamaican? How is that Jamaican? Hey, how is it Jamaican when it's brewed in the UK by Heineken? You want to see my setup, Carlton? It's not going to be easy, I don't think. I don't think that's going to be easy. Just bear with me for a second. It might be. I might be able to do it. Just bear with me for a second. Bear with me for a second. Let me just check something. No, that's not. Hang on. Let's try that. No. Hang on. Okay. Right. Let's. Carlson wants to see my setup. I'm going to give this a try. This may not work. This may not work. So let's give it a look. Media source. Okay. Let's give this a try. Right, I'm not sure if this is going to work. Stick some tunes on then. I've got tunes in my hearing aids. I'm actually listening to absolute 70s radio while I'm talking to you guys. Just bear with me. Trying to see if I can get this completely right. Let's try that. So Control C and Control V. Not a local file at all, it's a network file. Hang on. No, I'm not at the pub on Friday night. It would be too risky to be in a pub on a Friday night. It would be too risky. Right, let me just try this. Alright, I'm going to try this. This may not work, so just bear with me. This may not work. No, it's not going to work, is it? Oh, cobblers. I've actually got a camera behind me that I can actually turn. I can control it and turn it, but I need to set that up, and it's not working. It's not showing out. It's not showing out for anything. Any advice for the youngsters? Yeah, wear a condom. That would be my advice. Wear a condom. So why isn't that working? That should be working. Right, we're on the same network. Network buffering, input format, reconnect delay, 2 megabytes. Unless the IP address is wrong. Let me just check the IP address. Bear with me. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'll set it up. I'll set it up for this. I'll set it up for another time to show you. But I've got a camera behind me that I couldn't plug into the system, but I'm not. It's going to take me too long, and I'll end up fucking it up somehow. But I think it's the IP address that's the issue there. Right, not at the pub, Ozan. Not on a Friday night. No, it's too dangerous for me to be in a pub on a Friday night. It's too crowded. Cwin6995 wants to know any advice for the youngsters. Yeah, wear a condom. Chaotic Neutral Guy, what's a great strategy game? Well, I only play one game, and it's called Empires and Allies, and it is a great strategy game. Mohammed Hassan Adem on YouTube. Hi, how are you, mate? I'm fine. How are you? It's all good there. He says Real Madrid versus Liverpool. Do you think the Reds stand a chance against Real? I don't know. I'm not a football supporter. I'm really not a great football supporter. I mean, I watch England in the World Cup coming up in November, but other than that, I'm really not a great football supporter. Obviously, a British team against the Spanish team, or an English team against the Spanish team, I'm going to support and root for the English team. So yeah, well, let's hope Liverpool win, but I couldn't give you any idea of form or odds. I honestly haven't got a clue. I'm sorry, I wish I could, but I'm really not a football player. I used to be. I'm not into any sort of sports at all, and the reason I'm not into any sports at all is because cancer has affected me on so many levels, and one of the levels it's affected me on is it's put me in a wheelchair. I'm going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, so I don't expect you to understand this, or any of you to understand this, but anything that reminds me of the life that I had can actually be depressing, and watching football is one of those things. All right, that was never my sport. I used to love 10-pin bowling, but when I watch that on TV, it gets depressing, because you remember what it was like when you did it, and now I can't anymore. Or I can sit in my wheelchair and I can throw a ball down the alley, but that's not the skill, of course. I'm not a die-hard West Ham fan in that respect. I am and I aren't. I am, and Mohammed has pointed out that I said that I was a West Ham fan. I am. You've got to understand, right? I was born a London Cockney, and I'm old. I'm from the old school that you actually support your local football team. That's who you support. So, I wasn't born in Liverpool, so I don't support Liverpool. If I was born in Liverpool, I'd support Liverpool. But I was born in the East End of London, and the East End of London is West Ham. So yeah, I'm going to be a lifelong West Ham supporter. Die-hard means I'm never going to change my loyalty. It's always going to be West Ham. But I'm not a fan. I'm a supporter, but I'm not a fan. I hope that makes sense. So I always answer when people say, "God, I used to love watching West Ham." And I used to be football crazy. I mean, this is in the days of when Bobby Moore and Trevor Brooking and Martin Peters were, in the West Ham squad. I can imagine that, right? West Ham had more players playing for England than any other team at one time. And when they won the World Cup in 1966, half the squad were West Ham. So it gives you an idea of just how formative West Ham were for English football. But at the moment, their claim to fame is that they've given a job to a cat kicker. So and that's something we don't talk about. Right, that was a YouTube thing. Let's go on to Reddit. Ozander says, I'm glad you agree, Mohammed, thank you. Ozander on Reddit says, is computers and stuff something you've always had an interest in, or something you picked up later in life? Here's a bit of shock for you, right? Okay, it's my generation that invented all this shit, all right? And it's my generation that pioneered all this shit, all right? Okay, computers weren't invented for you youngsters. We invented them, my generation. I started playing with computers in 1982. I bought a Sinclair, a one-clay Sinclair computer from Tandy in Orpington in Kent, that you had to make yourself with a soldering iron. You bought it in a kit form, you had to make it yourself with a soldering iron, and it had a 1K memory. And you had to build this computer and then program it. It was absolutely fantastic. And then I bought a Sinclair Spectrum, a 32 kilobyte memory Sinclair Spectrum. Oh my god! That was a quantum leap in computer technology. Then I had an Atari ST500. Then I had a Commodore Amiga. And then I went in like 1988, 89. I went down the PC route. And I've been with PCs ever since. The PC, by the way, was invented in 1972. So it's my generation that actually invented all this shit that we're using now, and it's your generation that have just refined it. Yeah, the rubber-keyed Spectrums, yeah, lovely machines. I wish I had one now. There used to be a magazine called Sinclair User, and I used to quite regularly. Actually, no, Mohammed, your generation did not invent social media. Social media was invented around about 1985. All right, So I'll tell you that now. I can name 3 companies, right? Kix, CIX, CompuServe, and AOL all had a version of social media, and back in 1985, 1986 I was using Kix and CompuServe to actually interact and talk to other people all over the world via what was the forerunner of because the internet didn't really exist in those days. What was the forerunner of the internet? So yeah, social media was around in 1985, not in the form it's in now. Refined is the correct word that I'm using, but social media was around in 1985 because Kix and CompuServe bulletin boards were very big, and I was a member of both. Plus, AOL was the third service where you could actually dial into a bulletin board and exchange messages. So that's. So it's you're under a misapprehension if you think you invented social media. You didn't. You just made it a little bit better. On the backs of the things that we did. For instance, Facebook could never have ever come about without Windows, and of course Windows was invented by Bill Gates in 1982. My generation again. So you've got to remember, it's like I say, the foundations of everything that you're using now was invented by my generation. So computers isn't something that I learnt in later life. To answer the question of oh fuck me with a rusty shovel. Chaotic neutral guy, I missed your question. What's my opinion on Boris Johnson? The man needs to go. All right, the man needs to go. All right, the man needs to go. Right, okay. What's great strategy game chess? We've done that. Yeah, Ozander asked me. That was it. I've been brought up with it. I am of the generation, the first people of my age in their 60s now are the first computer generation. We are the first people that used and exploited computers. So that is our generation. We were the pioneers. Yeah, we were the pioneers. Ket Botica says the Amigas were good computers. Damn right they were good computers. When the Commodore Amiga was out, you're looking at Windows 3.1. All right, so Windows was in its infancy. Windows couldn't multitask. It couldn't do 2 things at the same time. Well, it could, but you had to mess about with time slices and PIF files, and there's a lot of fucking about. But the Commodore Amiga, with its operating system, it had two distinct advantages over the PC of the time. First of all, its operating system was in RAM. All right, the operating system was in RAM. Years ahead of it. PCs have only just started to catch up in the last 5 years with NVMe hard drives. The Commodore Amiga had this in 1980. All right, it had the operating system in RAM, which meant it was instant boot, no messing about. And because it was in RAM, it was also not limited by some of the limitations that the PC has got. Like in the early days of the PC, I don't know whether you know, but the PC can't actually address. My PC's got 32 gigs of memory in it, but my PC doesn't know that it's got 32 gigs of memory in it. I think my PC only thinks it's got 48k of memory in it, and we've had to use software to force the PC to recognise or to page and address the other RAM. And that's a limitation of the PC being invented in 1972, a limitation we're still stuck with now. So we have to software force the PC to load stuff into high mem. In fact, in the early days, you had to run a batch file called highmem.sys, which would actually run all your programs on boot into high memory and leave the 48k operating system blank. But that's all changed now. You Windows guys and you Apple crap, you Crapple Mac guys, you don't see any of that. But in those days, it was the nuts and bolts. And the Amiga could multitask. It could actually do 2 operations or more concurrently, and that was absolutely fantastic. The fact that you could do that on a computer in 1985 was a quantum leap in technology. A quantum leap in technology. I used to watch. Mohammed has asked me if I like motorsports. Mohammed on YouTube has asked me if I like motorsports. I used to love Formula 1 Grand Prix. I absolutely used to love it, but when it became too much of a procession, when the car that started the front of the rank at the start of the race, won the race. It became boring. I stopped watching it when Nigel Mansell retired, to be honest. You're probably too young to know who Nigel Mansell was, but Nigel Mansell was the last of the great gentleman racers. He would end up on the back of the grid because of something, right? And throughout the race, he would actually come from the back of the grid and go and win the race. There aren't many skills like that nowadays. It's whoever starts at the front now, it ends the race, and it becomes very boring. So I've got other more important things to do to 2.5 hours than not watch racing. And I used to race go-karting. I used to love go-karting when I was younger. That was great. I'm not bad-mouthing Apple. I'm not bad-mouthing Apple. I just don't like them very much. They did me out of a career. So, and I don't call them Apple, I call them Crapple. And the one thing I will never, ever, ever have in this house is an Apple product, ever. I will not have an iPhone. I will not have an iPod. I will not have an Air Mac. I will not have an Apple Mac. I will never, ever, ever use a Macintosh product. Several reasons for that. First of all, the technology is even older than the PC. And secondly, they cost me a career. And so no, I will never have Apple Mac in the house. I'll not have anything to do with Apple Mac. Right. The Amiga and the RST continued the decision, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, the Atari ST, the Atari and the ST, Left Coast Black, both suffered from the same problems. Right. They were fantastic machines. The Amiga and the Atari, absolutely fantastic machines, years ahead of what they were. The companies that owned them were complete and utter idiots. They did not know what they had, and they did not know how to market it. And that's where Bill Gates won. That's where Bill Gates won, because he went to IBM and said, you can have my software for free, but I want 1 cent for every PC it's loaded on and sold. If only Atari or Commodore could have done that. If only Atari or Commodore could have done that, it would change the face of what we are now. Because believe me, the Amiga was the PC, right? The PC and the Apple now, even now in 2022, still aren't up to the same level of technology that the Commodore Amiga was back in 1986. All right, technically, PCs can't really multitask. They just give you the illusion of multitasking. It's complicated, but to all intents and purposes, they are multitasking, but it's not. It's an illusion. Right, Apple. You want to know about Apple? Okay. When I left school, I served an apprenticeship. Now, I don't know whether you guys in other countries know what an apprenticeship is, but you're basically tied in. The only way I can describe it is you're tied into a training scheme for 6 years. It's a rock solid contract. You can't leave. You're paid shit money, right? But you are taught a trade, and at the end of the 6 years, you come away a fully qualified or a fully indentured apprentice. At the end of your apprenticeship, you are a master craftsman, and you can demand money, and I did, and I got it. I was a printer. I went into the printing trade from the time that I left school, and spent 6 years doing this apprenticeship, and then going into college and doing the apprenticeship. And I came away after 6 years with some I was very highly skilled. I was only like 22, but I was very highly skilled, and I could demand, and I got 4 times the national average wage. All right, because that's how much printers were paid. Because in the 1980s, we earned an absolute fortune, which was part of our downfall. Because people think, hang on, these printers are fucking expensive, you know. I mean, they've studied for a long time, and they have got the skills, but they're a bit expensive. Let's see if we can do away with them by computerising some of their stuff. So the Apple Mac came along, a little program called Quark Express came along, and virtually overnight it decimated the printing industry. In the same way that Uber has decimated the taxi industry, the Apple Mac and Quark Express decimated the printing industry. So I left the printing industry and I went on to do something else, because all that time that I studied, I wasted the early part of my life. I completely wasted it, because my skills are completely redundant now. I'm highly skilled, but they're not in demand anymore, because everything that I can do, the computer can now do. And that's why I'll never have an Apple Mac. And that's my little fight back against the Deus Ex Machina. Hamburgers. Whiskey Dick to me 666 hamburgers. You just asked me if I wanted hot dogs or hamburgers, but it's hamburgers. So that's why I don't like Apple Macs. That's why I'll never own an Apple Mac. There you go. Now you want to know. All right. Yeah, I know it's bitter. I know it's childish, but I'm old. I'm allowed to be bitter and childish. All right. Okay. There we go. Look, see, Left Coast Black Hawk understands exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm highly skilled and completely useless. Completely useless. IBM had the advantage of they were good. Now, IBM had the advantage that Atari and Amiga didn't. Good marketing. It all came down to good marketing. That's what it was. I mean, it's like the old VHS and Betamax battle. I mean, you know, remember those? Do you remember those days? VHS and Betamax, which is going to be the best format. Technically, Betamax, right? Betamax was the superior format for picture quality and audio quality, but JVC, who pioneered VHS, did a clever marketing thing. They bought Warner Brothers Studios and then made sure that Warner Brothers films were only ever released on VHS, not on Betamax. That actually killed Betamax as a format dead. Can you imagine that? Right, at the time, Warner Brothers were the big studios, right? Almost every film that came out from Warner Brothers, and all of a sudden it couldn't be released on Betamax because Warner said no, it's going out on VHS and that's it. So that killed Betamax dead overnight. Sony did try and fight back by buying Universal Studios, but it was too little, too late. By the time that they'd actually realised what was going on, JVC had wiped the floor with them and made VHS the de facto standard format, which was the technically inferior format, but it was down to clever marketing, which is the same with the IBM PC, right? As we know it. It was technically inferior, and it still is inferior to the Atari ST and the Commodore Amiga, but it was down to clever marketing, and that's why we've got the PC that we've got now. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things, right? Desktop publishing displaced the bottom third of the print industry. We've discussed that, right? Until AGFA really got going on their commercial and industrial printed, there were still a few years in the 80s. I kept going right up until 1992. Left Coast Black Hawk, and then we had some problems with a guy called Eddie Shah, who moved the printing of newspapers from Fleet Street out to Wapping, and did what P&O basically did. If you heard about what P&O did a couple of months back, Eddie Shah did the same thing to the print industry, and I thought, I've had enough of this. I'm leaving. I was a layout guy. I've got a skill. I've got a skill that I can actually take a colour photograph. I can produce 4 primary colour negatives, turn those into printing plates, and then use that to print them. I can do all that without a single computer, including the screens and the halftones and the colour separation. I can do the lot and print it. I've got the skills to do it, which nowadays you just scan it on a computer and it's done. But in my day, if you wanted to turn a colour photograph into something printed, you had to photograph it 4 times through 4 different filters, and then turn that into half-tone screens, and it got really complicated to make a colour picture. But those days are long gone now. Lives in trees. Is it not an argument against all progress? People will always need to retrain when software can automate tasks. Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, Uber have done this to throughout history. This has happened. Uber have done this to the taxi trade, haven't they? It's progress. It's disruptive technology. It's something that's always happened. I mean, back in the Industrial Revolution, the cotton mills, the weaving machines, mechanising a weaving machine did the weavers out of a job. It is progress. I have no problem with progress, right? I'm just never going to buy an Apple Mac, all right? So I didn't retrain. I just went on in a different direction. I'm just not going to buy an Apple. I'm just not going to own an Apple Mac, all right? I don't have a problem with progress. I just have a problem with Apple Macs. So I'm never going to buy an Apple product. Simple as that. That's my, as I say, Deus Ex Machina, my rise against the man. I'm just not going to buy an Apple product. But no, it's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's progress is going to happen, and the good news is that it's very. What Apple Mac did to the printing industry One day somebody's going to do it to Apple Mac. All right, karma exists. You're a neo-Luddite, Steve. Admit it. No, I'm not. I'm just not going to buy an Apple Mac. Mohammed says I'm a neo-Luddite. In case you don't know, neo means new. All right, it's one of these phrases that if you add neo to something, it makes it look quite posh. But neo just means new, and I'm not a new Luddite. I'm an old Luddite. I'm an original Luddite. I am Mr. Luddite. Yeah, that's it. Left Coast Black Hawk says, incidentally, is that the Black Hawk helicopter we're talking about?
Home. Robovac Sid is at the charging base.
What, Alexa? Alexa's just talking some bollocks to me, and I don't know why. What was that about Sid, Alexa? Sid is my vacuum cleaner. I've got a robo vacuum cleaner. We've called it Sid. No, we haven't called it Sid. My partner, she decided to call it Sid. I bought a robo-vac, and she said, "Can we give it a name?" What the fuck do you want to give a vacuum cleaner a name for? And she said, "I don't know." She said, "I just want to give it a name," so I called it Sid. I don't know why I called it Sid. I just called it Sid. So we've got a vacuum cleaner called Sid, and Alexa is connected to Alexa because we're a bit technological in this house, and it was connected to Sid, and Alexa was just waffling some crap about Sid and the charging base. I don't know. I think it's trying to tell me that Sid's not on the charging base. So that's what that was about, in case you're wondering. Right, so where are we? So is that, no, I don't have a problem with progress. Progress happens. Progress happens. Right, getting back to me, because it's all about me. It's called the You Show, right? It's me. Okay, me. That was my hearing aids was Tuesday. Today, two things have happened. My wheelchair I lease. You'd only know this if you're in the UK. There's a charity called Motability, which supplies you with things like cars. In this case, I've got an electric wheelchair. I don't need a Motability car. I've already got a car, and my car's all fully paid for, so it's not on finance. It's only 3 years old, and it's not on finance, so I don't need to rent a car from Motability. But I do lease a wheelchair from them, an electric wheelchair, and that lease goes for 3 years at a time. Well, the 3 years were up 2 weeks ago, so they took the wheelchair back, and I've signed a lease for a new one, which is exactly the same wheelchair that I had before. Yeah, well, it's a new one. Obviously, it's a new one. They take the old one back, but it's an electric wheelchair. And the only reason that I went for exactly the same wheelchair is because it only comes with one battery, and it's only got a 10-mile range. So I actually bought a second battery, which is very expensive, nearly 400 quid, £400. I bought a second battery, and I thought, well, if I get a different wheelchair, the new battery's not going to, my spare battery's not going to fit. So I've got the same style wheelchair, same model. Which is actually quite good. That's good. That's 3 years I've got that wheelchair for. That happened this morning. I had a phone call from my haematologist this morning, which was interesting. They are going to, I had a PET scan 10 days ago, a PET CT scan 10 days ago, and what they're going to do is they're going to compare this PET scan 10 days ago with the PET scan I had at the start of my chemotherapy in January, and if there's been any changes, any negative changes, like the tumours have got worse or they haven't decreased enough, they're going to change my chemotherapy regimen, and they're going to put me on something called R-CHOP, which I hope doesn't happen. I hope that they're going to give me some good news. But he just wanted to touch base with me to let me know that this is what they're doing. They're going to have a meeting about it, and they're going to decide what treatment they're going to put me on next week. So that was that. And the other thing I had is I had a dentist appointment today. Now, if you've been following me, I'll come back to you about your Indian thing in a minute, Black Hawk. I'm not ignoring you. If you've been following me, you'll know that starting on the 13th of April, right through April, I had 12 teeth taken out of my mouth. 12 teeth. I've lost 12 teeth in 6 weeks. The reason I've lost 12 teeth in 6 weeks is because this is now my third lot of chemotherapy. and unfortunately the chemotherapy chemicals are just as harmful in some respects as the cancer they're trying to kill. One of the things it's caused is it's caused my teeth to rot at an accelerated rate, and it's caused my gums to shrink. So my teeth, this time 2 years ago, I had a full set of 32 teeth, no dentures, nothing like that. Full set of 32 teeth, and in less than 2.5 years, I'm down to just 12. I have 12 teeth. I've lost 20 teeth in just over 2 years. So I had 12 teeth out in 2 separate operations. They were operations, not dentist extractions. They were actually operations at King's College Dental Hospital in Denmark Hill with a dental surgeon. So they had to remove the teeth. Did it in 2 operations, 6 at a time, which has left me with absolutely no teeth at all on the left-hand side of my mouth. Look, I can do that. I can suck my mouth right in because I've got no teeth there to stop it. The same on that side. I've only got a few down the bottom and a few at the top. Look. I've got no teeth. So my dentist has taken impressions top and bottom today for dentures. I'm going to be fitted for dentures in the first time in my life I've ever worn dentures. So she's taken the impressions for the dentures for me there. So that's what else I've been doing today. That's another side effect of cancer that they don't tell you about, that you lose your teeth. Right, let me just catch up with the yeah, vacuum cleaner. Yeah, I've got a robot vacuum cleaner. Mohammed is laughing at my Mohammed on YouTube is laughing at my robot vacuum cleaner. Myself and my partner, I mean, she's 61, I'm 62. I'm seriously ill, and even doing mundane things like housework is hard work. She's not a youngster either, so anything like that makes our life a little easier is great. And this vacuum cleaner, it's great. It goes off at 3:30 every morning, and it does the whole of the downstairs. It runs round, and it keeps the downstairs really clean. The front room, the dining room, the hallway. It keeps it really clean, especially as I spent a lot of money last year recarpeting the place, and it makes it look right good. It does take that. It just takes that bit of chore, a bit of effort out of having to run around with a vacuum cleaner, because it's only me and her that live here. We do get my kids and my grandchildren visiting, and then we'll get the vacuum cleaners out. But just the two of us, it's fantastic for cleaning up. So the robot vacuum cleaner is great. I don't know why we called it Sid. We just called it Sid. Right. Okay. Let me just have a drink of beer. I'm just going to catch up with some of the messages. So bear with me. Black Hawks are tribes affiliated with Chief Black Hawk, various sort of fox tribe. Okay. Okay. Yeah, don't ever ally with the British. That's not a good plan. Living trees. Have you found the NHS has done a good job? Yes, I'm still here. I have a cancer. Let me tell you how good a job the NHS has done. All right. In 1970, my cancer, follicular lymphoma. Right. In 1970, the 10-year survival rate for follicular lymphoma was 4%. Right, 4%. That means that out of every 100 people that are diagnosed with follicular lymphoma, only 4 will survive 10 years. That was 1970. The 10-year survival rate in 2020 was 82%. What a difference. 50 years, and they've taken it from a cancer that was absolutely guaranteed, pretty much guaranteed to kill you within 10 years, to giving people a much better chance of life. So that's that. And I'm in year 8. All right, I was diagnosed in 2013. I was diagnosed, well, there's a bit of a debate there. I'm in year 8. I was diagnosed in December 2013, but obviously I'd had the cancer before being diagnosed, and a conservative estimate is about 2010 is when I first started exhibiting the symptoms. So it's debatable. I'm either in my 8th year or my 12th year, so it depends which way you look at it. But I'm looking forward to 10 years survival, which, believe it or not, yeah, monoclonal antibodies, which is what rituximab is. It's great stuff, but my God, does it make your shit stink. Oh, oh, that's the other thing people don't tell you about, right? Chemo poo is unbelievable, right? It actually smells like a skunk has microwaved a wrapper. It actually smells, right? Actually makes your shit smell like a skunk has microwaved a mackerel, eaten the mackerel, then crawled up your arsehole and died. All right, that's what it makes it smell like. It is the most evil smell in the world. I mean, you drop a fart, right, and you've got to open up the windows, because if you don't, the whole house goes nuclear. There's nothing worse than the smell of chemo, right? And I queried it with my haematologist. I said, why does my shit stink so much when I'm on rituximab? And he said, because it's dead cells. I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, the rituximab is breaking up the tumours. Well, no, it's not the rituximab breaking up the tumours, it's the bendamustine that's breaking up the tumours, but rituximab is signposting the tumours. And he said, well, when the tumours break up, they've got to go somewhere. Well, what do you think happens to them? Well, I don't know. He said, well, you pass them out. I said, oh, you mean I shit them out? He said, well, yeah. And he said, what are you doing? You're shitting out dead skin, dead cells. Of course they're going to smell. They're going to smell like something's died, because that's exactly what's happened, is something's died. But, it is so bad, right, that even I can't stand being in the toilet when I've had a shit. It really is disgusting. There's just no smell like it. It's, right, sorry. But yeah, monoclonal antibodies are quite good. If you had complete control of the NHS, what would you change? I know there's a lot of chat about reform currently. I think there's room for improvement, but not sure how. That comes from Lives in Trees, by the way, for all you hundreds of millions of viewers out there on YouTube. He said this is what Lives in Trees. I say here, I've got this sheet. Right, this is what Lives in Trees has said. If you had complete control of the NHS, what would you change? I know there's a lot of chat about reform currently, and I think there's room for improvement, but not sure how. I'm not saying this to be offensive, Lives in Trees, all right? But that's just whataboutery, isn't it? Eh? If I was capable of right, of being in charge of the NHS, then do you not think that I would actually be in charge of the NHS and not sitting here on a Saturday night in my den streaming? Mohammed, I'll answer your question in a second. Do you not think I'd be in charge of the NHS? So no, I don't know. I'm not in charge of the NHS. I don't pretend that I can run an organisation like people. I don't subscribe to this Facebook. I call it Facebook bollocks, or face shit. I call it, where people are suddenly experts on everything under the planet. I mean, COVID showed that, right? That as soon as COVID appeared, everybody on Facebook became an expert virologist. I don't pretend to know things. I don't pretend to claim anything outside of my sphere of knowledge, and I've never run the NHS, so I leave that to people who run the NHS. If I was capable of running the NHS, I would be running the NHS. Sorry if that's not the answer you were expecting, but that's the only answer I can give you, and the only true, honest answer. Coming back to what you said earlier, do you think the NHS has done a good job? Given that the Americans have to pay for their health care, rituximab per infusion is over £800. Bendamustine is over £300 per infusion, and lenalidomide is £500 per tablet. It's estimated that my cancer care since 2012 has cost nearly £7 million. All right, you have no idea how many tablets I'm on, but a conservative estimate was £7 million has been spent on me, and I haven't paid a penny. Except I have paid a penny. Well, I have. Obviously, people think the NHS is free. It isn't. You pay for it with your national insurance stamp, which I did working for all my adult life. But it's only 1.5% of my wages, which was nothing. So, yeah, so do I think the NHS has done a good job? Well, it's where else would I have got nearly £7 million from? I'm not talking cynically, Mohammed. I'm trying to. Mohammed tells me not to talk cynically. I'm not trying to talk cynically, Mohammed. I'm trying to divide my time because I'm streaming on 3 different platforms, and you all can't see each other. So I'm trying to make sure that trying to make sure that you all feel in the loop, and trying to make sure that we're all communicating. I'm acting as the intermediary here, so it's not cynically. Mohammed has asked me, is there a dog in the house? Do I have any pets? Not at the moment. My last pet, which was a cat, died 4 years ago, and we took the decision at that time, me and my partner, that we would be pet free for a while, because both of us throughout our entire adult lives have had pets. My cat, which we affectionately called Shithead because he was a shithead, or fuck off, that was his other name, because you'd come in the room and you look at him and say fuck off. Prior to that, my pets were, I lost them in 2012, so 10 years ago this year. I had them put down because they were both suffering. I had a German Shepherd and a Welsh Border Collie, absolutely stunning dogs, best friends I've ever had. And to lose two companions like that, and they both lived to a good old age, they both lived to over 12 years, which in dog years is good, especially for a German Shepherd. I mean, get a German Shepherd to go to 13 years, which is what I got with my German Shepherd, is fantastic. But it broke my heart, and I lost one after the other within a couple of months. One went and then the other went, and it absolutely broke my heart. It really did. And I couldn't, at that time I said to myself, I'm not going to ever get another dog, because I cannot put myself through that sort of heartbreak again, because they do become part of the family, and you don't realise until you actually lose them just how much a part of the family they were. And it tore me apart when I lost the two like that, and I said I don't want to go through that pain again. That was 10 years ago. Since then a lot has happened, including one of the things, and I've discussed it earlier, and I don't know if you were here earlier and you know about it, but I'm almost completely deaf. I showed my hearing aids and everything else. I'm almost completely deaf. Well, I'm on the list for a hearing dog, which is like a guide dog, except it's for deaf people, and the dog acts as your ear. Whereas a guide dog for the blind acts as their eyes, a hearing dog, and it's a properly accredited service animal, so I've got the same rights as people with guide dogs. I can take it anywhere, including restaurants, and they can't do anything about it because it's illegal to discriminate against me. I'm actually getting a hearing dog, but it's a bit of a long process, and I'm about halfway through the process. So it normally takes, from applying till you actually get the hearing dog, is about 3 years, and I'm about a year and a half in. So it's going to be a while yet, but I will be getting a hearing dog, a service animal, to help me out. So I will be a dog owner again. And the chances are it will be a cockapoo, because they make the best hearing dogs. That's a cross between a Cocker Spaniel and a Poodle. Or it might be a Labrador. I'm hoping it's not a Labrador. I don't really get a lot of choice. They match the dog with my particular requirements. So I don't particularly want a Labrador because they shed hair like nobody's business. But the most popular ones, the best hearing dogs, are cockapoos, crosses between Cocker Spaniels and Poodles. So I'm about a year and a half away from getting a dog there. I've got some obstacles to overcome. It's not 100% guaranteed that I'll get a dog, but I'm pretty certain that I will. But we're getting closer. So one day I'll be sitting here with a stream, and I'll introduce you to my new service animal, which is something that I need. So yeah, I will be getting a dog again, and that's it. One reason, right, Mohammed, one reason not to believe in heaven is that dogs are not in it. Do you think dogs deserve to be in heaven? How do you know dogs are not in heaven? Do you believe in the afterlife, Steve? Is Mohammed. Right. First of all, Mohammed, I'm going to ask you two questions, right? How do you know that dogs aren't in heaven? All right. That's one. So think about that before you answer. And number two, do I believe in the afterlife? I'll let you know. Okay? I'll let you know. It's a very, very deep, meaningful question, that, and it's bordering on religion. I don't like religion. Do I believe in the afterlife? Do I believe in the afterlife? I'd like to think that the experience of being a conscious being can't end when you die. Maybe we do change to a different level of existence. I don't know. I'll let you know, because that's basically all we can do. all we can do is speculate, because nobody's ever successfully come back from the dead to confirm it. And I don't subscribe to that bearded guy back in 2,000 years ago at Easter coming back from the dead. I don't think that happened at all. That's top of the list of things that never really happened that day. So nobody's actually successfully come back from the dead to really tell us, have they? So, like everything, based on the evidence that it hasn't happened yet, then there's no evidence of an afterlife in a form that we right now would understand. But I would just like to think that this computer that is me, that is my consciousness, that is my being, I'd like to think that it doesn't just end on my death. But whether there's an afterlife in how poets and religious scholars have described it, I don't know. And I don't know how they could know. They can just best guess, all right? So that's my answer there. If you pin me further, my answer will be I'll let you know after I'm dead. And that's the only way I can answer that. And like I said, my question to you is, how do you know there are no dogs in heaven? And my second question is, how do you know there is a heaven? Before you answer that, let me tell you that Clement Freud, the famous Austrian psychiatrist Clement Freud, described religion like this. He said, religion and a neurotic psychosis have exactly the same symptoms. And you know what? He's right. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. It has exactly the same symptoms as neurotic psychosis. Right, Armageddon's engineer. The audio on this is on YouTube. No, he's on Twitch. Sorry. Oh, I've got a Twitch viewer. Oh my god. I'm going to faint. I've got somebody watching me on Twitch. This is like novel. Hello, Armageddon engineer. You're a very unique person. You're actually on Twitch watching me. And thank you for following me. Right. The audio on this doesn't sound like you're under a pile of pillows. I'm assuming that's a compliment. Right, there's my microphone. That is a Audio Technica AT2020 XLR microphone, which is pumping into a Presonus Studio 24C USB DAC digital audio converter, which is pumping into my sound card, which is a Creative Labs 7.1 bollocks. Right, Reddit sound compression has some issues. Reddit has some issues. Reddit is at the moment suffering terrible lag. Let me just check something. Just gonna click my fingers. Right, 5 seconds. That's 5 seconds. That's 10 seconds. That's 15 seconds. Right, 15 seconds. That's 20 seconds. 23 seconds. Right, 23 seconds. No, that's not line noise you're hearing in my mic, Armageddon engineer. You're hearing my fans. I've got 2 fans. I've got one there and I've got one there blowing on me, because currently it's 32 degrees in here and I'm sweating like a pig. So you're actually hearing the noise of my fans. If I turn them up, they'll get even noisier. So that's not what you're hearing. It's not line noise. It's actually the noise of my fans that you're hearing. I could run a filter, but it's complicated. It's complicated. So it's not the line noise. You're actually hearing the noise of my fans. 2 USB fans blowing on me. Right. I'm just going to go back to Reddit for a second. Let's have a look at Reddit. Right. Left Coast Black Hawk says, I need a paint booth exhaust system for my bathroom. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Managing any kind of national healthcare bureaucracy is going to be next level insanity. Yeah, that's why I don't manage any next level national health bureaucracy. That's okay. What would you say to yourself if you could talk to yourself at 30? I know it's going deep. Oh, blimey, 30. 30 was a crux point in my life. 30 was a turning point in my life. It was during my 30th year that I discovered that my first wife was cheating on me, which effectively destroyed my family and ended my first marriage. So that was a real nexus in my life. That was a turning point, and it shaped who I am and where I went from there onwards. It was what would I say to myself? My 30th year. I felt that I grew up. I felt that I grew up fast. I felt that. For many years, after I discovered my wife had cheated on me and it ended my relationship, for many years I had serious trust issues, and I really didn't want to trust another woman with my emotions and my heart, because I didn't want to have it broken again. So if I could go back and talk to myself at 30, my answer would be, give that trust easier than you did. And for many years I really did have some issues with a woman, and it's only now that I've met my partner. I met my partner nearly 20 years ago now, and she's a fantastic woman. I trust her explicitly, and I wish that I'd given trust to other people. No, I don't. I mean, no, because I'm quite happy that things worked out that I've met the woman that I have. But yeah, I wish that I'd given her, my partner, my trust a lot earlier than I eventually did. It would have meant that, because we've only been together for 13 years, living together for 13 years, we met 20 years ago, so I wasted 7 years because I had trust issues because of the emotional damage my first wife did to me. So that's what I would say to myself if I went back to myself at 30, because like I said, you picked a particular year in my life which was a nexus, a turning point in my life, and my life changed in ways that I couldn't imagine. Does that answer your question? Right, does that answer your question? Hi Roller, I have no idea what you're talking about because I don't speak Japanese, alright? I don't speak Japanese. Oh, Mohammed's gone. Oh, Mohammed's gone. Oh, Mohammed. I was hoping you would tell me how you're convinced that there's a heaven, and secondly, how do you know there's no dogs in heaven? I would like to know the rationale behind that. I'm not going to pull you apart. I just want to know why you believe there's no dogs in heaven, or why you believe there's a heaven. I don't believe there's a heaven at all, or a hell, or a god, or a devil. That's just me. Right, how are we doing? I'm just going to have some more of my beer. It's 11:30. I didn't intend to stream this late, but there we go. It's 11:30. I'm going to have some more of my beer. How many people we got watching? We got 18 on Reddit, and we've got 2 on Twitch, and we've got no one on. Oh, you're still here, Mohammed. All right, okay. Mohammed, sorry, Mohammed. My question: how do you know A, there's a heaven, and B, what makes you think there's a heaven, and B, what makes you think that dogs aren't in heaven? Is there a particular reason that you said that? That was my question to you. And I'm not doing it to be argumentative or to pull you apart. I'm genuinely interested in what your rationale for saying that was. All right, the only way you can learn about other societies is to ask questions and not just blindly accept what they're saying. So that's why I'm asking you, because I'm learning about you, where you're coming from, by just not blindly accepting what you're saying. I hope that didn't come across as rude or argumentative or confrontational. It's not meant to be. I'm just genuinely interested in why you say that there's no dogs in heaven. For you guys on Reddit, and if you notice I'm pointing over there, it's because of the way that I'm sitting with directly in front of me. My camera's there. Underneath there I've got one 28-inch monitor which has got my YouTube and Twitch output on it. Next to it over there I've got another 28-inch monitor which has got my Reddit output on it. So that's why I'm just pointing over there at Reddit and pointing over here at YouTube, so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I'm genuinely interested in why you would say that. Mohammed. As for you, Armageddon engineer, or do you really think it's line noise? I don't think it's line noise at all, because I'm looking at the VU meter and I can see the clean input from the mic, and I can see the fan on there exactly where the fan is, exactly at the right frequency range. There are filters, but it's just too much like fucking about to take the fan noise out with a filter. That I really can't be bothered to do it. Right, Mohammed, all religions are human-centered. Yes, of course they are. They're going to be human-centered because, as far as I'm aware, um, I'm going to take just that first part, right? As far as I'm aware, one of the primary differences between humans and animals is that humans can see outside of themselves, animals can't. All right? So yes, all religions are going to be human-centered. Animals and plants are not humans. Heaven and hell are human-only club. Again, what makes you say that they are human-only club? What makes you say that they're a human-only club? While I agree that they're human-centric, anthropocentric, that's because we are creating them in our image. And that brings me back to religion. You know, a lot of people say that God created man in his image. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe in God at all. I believe that we each have our own inner religion. We each have our own different version of religion. And we each create our own God, deity, whatever you want to call it, our own belief system in our image. So it's actually the reverse of what doctrine teaches us. Right? Doctrine teaches us that we are created, God created us in his image. Well, I don't think that's true. I think if there is a God, it's something that we've created within each of us in our own image, and it's unique to each of us. In other words, my God is not the same as your God or the same as anybody else's God. That's where I am on that. And by the same token, this concept of heaven and hell, I agree, it's a human fabrication, concoction. It's a human-based scenario, but that's only human arrogance. It's human arrogance that says that there are no animals in heaven. We don't know that there are no animals in heaven. Not only do we not know that there are no animals in heaven, we do not know if there is a heaven. We do not know because nobody has ever come back to tell us that it exists. And that's my biggest problem. This is what stopped me believing in religion many years ago, because I worked it out that with all religious people, they say that the fact there is no proof, or the fact that they say there is no proof, is proof that religion exists. And I think that's fucking crazy logic, isn't it? So I'm one of those people that I'm a quizzical agnostic. There, I'll call me a quizzical agnostic. All right, a quizzical agnostic. I'm one of those people that I won't believe until I'm faced with proof positive. And telling me that because there is no proof is proof enough comes back to what I was saying about Freud, saying religion and neurotic psychosis have exactly the same symptoms. I'll come back to you in a second, Mohammed. Lives in trees. Thanks for the honest answer. I feel it always educational to hear people talking about their past. Lives in trees also says no line noise on Reddit. There are no line noises on Reddit. It's not a line noise. It really is. I've got two fans. I've got one up there and I've got one there blowing on me to keep me cool. And that's what you're hearing. But I can tell you now, there is no line noise. Reddit's audio quality is shit. And if there was line noise, you probably wouldn't hear it anyway. But I probably could filter it out. It's just the noise of the fans. Let me just see if I've got a filter running. I really hate fucking about when no, I haven't got a filter running. Let's run a filter. Right, let's run a filter. There we go. Right. Okay. Right, let's run a filter. So that should completely remove the fan noise because that's filtering it out at exactly the same frequency as the fans. So that should completely remove the fan noise. Right, lives in trees. Right, Mohammed lives in trees on Reddit. Is asked a question that I'm going to pass on to you. So Mohammed, his question to you is Mohammed religious? So are you religious, Mohammed? Right, Armageddon engineer. So like in American Gods, human belief forms the forces of chaos into gods or sentient paranormal beings. Indeed it does. Indeed it does, Armageddon. You couldn't put it myself. I take it American Gods is a book. I've not read it, so I don't know about that. Yep, that killed the noise, which goes to prove that it was the fans. Like I said, I set the filter at the exact same frequency. I actually set a low pass filter at the exact same frequency as the fans. And as soon as I've done that, the fans are gone. So I knew it was the fans. What you didn't know is while I've been sitting there, I've been fucking about with Adobe Audition trying to isolate the frequency of the fans coming off the microphone, so I could actually set that filter to do that. Um, oh, I hate it when I didn't want to say anything in case it all went wrong, but it went right in the end. Faith. No, you're right. Faith and right, Mohammed. Did you answer? Did you answer the question that lives in trees asked? Are you religious? Believers don't give a damn about evidence, data, only faith. Yeah, faith is a good thing. I agree that faith and evidence are two entirely different things. I have no faith. I have no faith. There is a religion. It's as simple as that. I have faith in lots of things, but I don't have faith in religion. And I will only accept religion when I get evidence. And I don't need to be told that I need faith. I have faith. I have faith that I'm going to beat cancer. I have faith that I'm going to see my 70th birthday. You know, it's there's different kinds of faith, but I just don't believe in the same faith as other religious people do. So there we go. So will you answer my question that Lives in Trees asks? And meanwhile, Lives in Trees is asked me another question, which I'll repeat for everybody. Have you started believing more in God? Have you started believing more in God more since your illness? Has it changed your outlook on the fundamentals of life? No, no, no. No, it hasn't. I'll come back to you about that. Mohammed, no, I don't have. No, that's not what I said. I said I have faith that I'm going to live till I'm 70. Do I have faith that I'll beat the cancer? No, not at all. My cancer is incurable. Okay, it is incurable. It can't be cured. So no, I'm not going to beat it, and there's no point in even thinking about beating it when it's incurable. It can't be cured. If at a later date, if I'm still alive and they do find a cure for it, then I'll change my thinking on it. But at the moment, I'm not going to give myself false hope. And this answers your question, just in truth. I'm going to try and deal with two things at the same time. When you're told you have cancer, it does change your outlook on life. And yeah, I guess some people would turn to religion to give themselves comfort. I don't have a problem with that. I didn't. I'm more a realist than that. I'm more a realist than that. But when I was told that I had cancer, the guy that told me laid it down completely and said it's incurable. And it's what's going to. And when you're told you've got an incurable cancer, right now, bear in mind that statistically, I could get hit by a bus. You know, I mean, I could be in a plane crash or a train crash. I could have a heart attack. Statistically, what's going to kill me is my cancer, and I'll even tell you the mechanism that it's going to kill me by. All right. Eventually, it will leave my lymphatic system and it will metastasize, which is secondary cancer, in my bone marrow. Once my lymphoma reaches my bone marrow, what it does is it stops my body from producing hemoglobin. Now, hemoglobin is what the blood circulates throughout the body, uses it to carry oxygen to all the parts of the body. If you're not producing hemoglobin, you're not carrying oxygen to all the parts of your body. So basically, when I stop producing hemoglobin, I'll suffer major organ failure. Slow, not painful, but slow, until my organs just stop working. And I hope my brain is one of the first to go, because I would hate to be there with my full senses and a body that was useless. I would not like to be like Stephen Hawking. A very, very clever man, but that must be awful being trapped in a body that doesn't work. So, but that's the mechanism. In all honesty, that's what's going to kill me. because I know this, because I know this, that's given me a, that's given me a, that's given me a, that's given me an inner peace. And it's an inner peace I don't think many people get, because we always ask ourselves a couple of questions. And one of the questions we ask ourselves is, how is it going to end for me? And you've all done it, all of you, on Reddit, Twitch, YouTube. You've all done it. You've all asked yourself the same question. You've always wondered at some point, how is it going to end for me? Well, I know. Okay, I know. And that gives me an inner peace. That means I don't have to bother about asking that question. I don't have to bother my head about it. I can think about other things. And that actually gives me an inner peace, and it gives me a sense of comfort. I know it sounds strange, but it does. It gives me a sense of comfort. So that is my fundamental outlook on life in that respect. Did I turn to God? No, I didn't turn to God. I can see how some people would. I can see how some people would. I can see why they would need something to believe in. But no, I didn't decide suddenly that I needed a being that doesn't exist to do it. I believe in myself. I've got faith in myself. That's my faith. So that's my answer to you there, lives in trees. Okay, that's my answer to you. Let's go back to Armageddon. The gene therapies that can shut off the mechanisms of cancer's problems. There are lots of the trouble there is Armageddon. There are lots of there's lots of research out there that propose lots of different things. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I could drag up some Nigerian witch doctor that will tell you that eating this herb, which only costs $120 per ounce, will cure my cancer. I'm pretty sure that I could drag one up from there. I know I get spammed by them often enough. So it's difficult. I have to go with the science that normally it's an oncologist that deals with cancer, but because I've got a blood cancer, it's a hematologist that are dealing with it. I've got to go with the science that they're telling me. I've got no choice. They're the people in charge of my treatment, right? I've got to go with the science they're telling me. And if they tell me it's incurable, then I accept that it's incurable. If they say that there's this, that, and that treatment that will work, and you can't do this treatment, I mean, one of the options is something called a stem cell transplant, and apparently I'm not well enough for a stem cell transplant. Yeah, typical. So there might be some mechanisms there. There might be some research or some empirical research that says that. But I've got to go with the known science. It's my life, and I'm not going to risk anything else. So I'm going to go with the known science. If you understand, how am I staying so resilient? What you mean positive? Life in Trees on Reddit has asked me actually Armageddon. I'd say it's more like 4 million bullets in a minigun. That's more accurate. Lives in Trees asked me how I'm staying so resilient. When you say resilient, do you mean upbeat? Do you mean positive? Do you mean I'm not sitting down, laying in a bed, going, "Oh no, woe is me! I've got cancer. I'm going to die." The answer to that is that's not my personality. I don't. I'm fighting it in my own way. Talking about it is my fighting it. Talking about it is my fighting it, and talking about it also gives me a. It's another reason why I do some of the streaming, because I read somewhere that 50% of the population is going to become touched by cancer in their lifetime. It doesn't mean they're going to get cancer. It means they're going to know somebody that's got cancer, that's going to be touched by cancer. So I'm being like this about cancer because there are people yet to tread the same path as me, and I need them to know that it's not the end of the world. It's not a disaster. If you get cancer, it's not the end of the world. Excuse me, I'm saying, Alexa, set bedroom brightness 100%.
Okay.
Thank you. Right, sorry, I just noticed that my green screen wasn't working properly, so I've just put some more light on the background. So I'm trying in my own way to say to people, look, you can carry on being the person you were before you got cancer. It doesn't have to change who you were. You can be the person you are. And you can carry on. You can still get some quality of life. I mean, yeah, my quality of life is suffering. I mean, cancer is gradually robbing me of all my body functions, but that's one of those things. It's I'm still getting a good quality of life, and I'm still happy. I can still go down the pub, and I'm going to be up the pub on Sunday night, and I can't wait for it. So again, if you don't know, right, I do a pub stream on Reddit from the pub around about 7 p.m. London time. So does that answer your question, Lives in Trees? I'm. It's my personality. I'm not. I'm not a depressive person. I don't. I spent my entire life right seeing where some people see obstacles, I see challenges. Okay, and cancer challenges me to beat it, to live with it, and to live as normal a life as possible with it. Okay, does that answer your question? Armageddon's engineers, something like 1 in 6 will get some form of cancer. Yes, they will. It's the way it is. It's just the way it is. So yeah, people will be touched by it. And like I say, I'm here and I'm saying, look, you can have a fairly normalish life. So as you say, the only safe bet is live dangerously, so you die before you're 55. I tried that when I was in my 20s. Oh my! I'll tell you what, right? When I was in my early teens, and we're talking about from 1974 to about 1979, so from 14, so I lost my virginity at 14. So from the time I lost my virginity until the time I got married, I fucked anything with a pulse. I mean, I really did. I spent my entire existence was trying to fuck anything with a pulse. It really was. If the washing machine slowed down enough, I'd fuck it. And so I did live dangerously. I did live dangerously in that very short time. Maybe this is my punishment for that. I don't know. But yeah, I did live dangerously when I was younger, knowing what I know now. Yeah, so I'm the reason sheep are afraid. Yeah, they are afraid. I'll tell you. Don't let me anywhere near sheep. Oh, yeah, don't let me anywhere near sheep. uh, I don't know. I don't know living trees if it's stoicism. It's just it's the way that I deal with things. Like I say, I don't see obstacles. I see challenges. And cancer for me is a challenge. It's challenged me. It said, right, okay, I can either destroy your life or you can control me. And that's what I'm doing. And I'll tell you something, right? I'll tell you something. How many of you, I'll give you a little tip, right? How many of you have actually seen the original Battlestar Galactica? Not the one they did in 2000, the original Battlestar Galactica, the one they did in 1976. How many of you have actually seen it or know about it? Right, well, I'll give you a little tip, right? I also believe in the power of self-help. And do you know what I do when I go to bed, right? And I pull the covers off me and I turn the light off. Do you know what I do before I go to sleep? No, that's your filthy minds. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. No, do you know what I do before I go to sleep? JD, I'll answer your question in a minute. Do you know what I do before I go to sleep? The last thing I do before I go to sleep, and it's not wank, right? I'll tell you what I do, right? And it's connected to what this stoicism, what I'm just about to say. Armageddon. Let me just take up something. Armageddon. Um, yeah, I know all about all the other streaming services, right? Now, the reason I'm streaming on Twitch is because everybody keeps telling me when I'm on Reddit, right? And last Sunday I had 32,000 viewers. Yes, I had 32,000 viewers at the height of the pub stream. There were 32,000 people watching. And everybody says to me, "Oh, you want to get on Twitch? You want to get on Twitch? You want to get on Twitch? You'll make a load of money on Twitch. Go on Twitch. You'll be really popular on Twitch." Like fuck, right? Like fuck. I have dived and bombed on Twitch. Right, I can tell you now that I've got 17 people watching me on Reddit and 2 people watching me on Twitch. Right, and everybody says to me, "Twitch is where you want to be." Well, here I am, and there's no bugger watching me. Right, 2 of you. No offence, but two of you is just like, you know, it's not, you know, I mean, and I've only got one person watching me on YouTube, and they say YouTube is the other big place to be. So telling me about yet another streaming service, right? It's just, you know, it's in my own head, my own evidence. All right, the evidence I've had for streaming is Reddit is the place where I need to be. So, um, I'm thinking about doing the hot tub. To be honest with you, Armageddon, I'm thinking about doing the hot tub. I really am. So I'm thinking about doing a hot tub, but I don't know how work's going to be. I don't know what my partner's going to say if she suddenly comes in and sees me in my room in a bikini in a hot tub. But I guess I've experienced most things in my life. I can deal with her laughter. Right, let me come back to you guys. Right, let me come back to you guys. JDH25. Yes, I'm off down the boozer on Sunday. I'll be live streaming from about 7 o'clock onwards. I can't say. Oh, sorry, Armageddon. I understand you now. Sorry, yeah, sorry. I got you right. Got you. I can't say exactly what time because it all depends how wankered I get. So I like to stream between 3 and 4 because it's streaming from my den where I am now, and then being out in public, streaming I'm out in public in the pub, so it does take a little bit of bottle to get worked up to that level. So about 7 o'clockish, but yeah. And one of my friends has actually threatened to join me this week, so that could be interesting. My friend Vivian. Sorry, Armageddon. Yeah, I thought you were trying to tell me about another streaming service. Sorry, my mistake. I do apologise. Yeah. Anyway, Battlestar Galactica. Right. The last thing I do, right, is shut my eyes and I imagine my tumours, my cancer, are silenced. Okay. And I imagine that my white corpuscles are Imperial Vipers. And my Imperial Vipers are shooting and killing the Cylons. And that's how I send myself to sleep every single night. Does that answer your question about Stoicism, living trees? Right? Right, JD says Reddit is the place to be for sure. It's easier to find the stream and less competition from shitloads of other streams. Unless there's kittens. All right. If I'm doing pub stream at the same time there's kittens, right? Forget it. Right, the kittens will win every time. The kittens will win every time. Every single time the kittens will win. But I'm not doing it for numbers. Yeah, it would be nice. It would be great. It would be absolutely fantastic if I could make affiliate status on Twitch. And if I do, I've got a problem because then I can't stream on Reddit and Twitch at the same time. But I've got a cunning plan there. If I could actually make some money out of streaming, that would be good. I mean, I'm retired now and I've got a little bit of a pension. It's not much, but it does keep a roof over my head and it does put food on the table, but it doesn't allow me to do very much. And it would be nice if I could have a little bit of income from streaming, but it's not the be all and end all. It's not what streaming's about for me. I can still stream even though I haven't got money. But it would be nice to actually get a little bit of a return for my investment. That would be nice. I don't want to, you know, I mean, I don't want to panhandle and I don't want to beg for money. You know, on Reddit, I've got a tip me thing up there, but nobody ever tips me, so that's a bit pointless. But yeah, it would be nice if I could make a little bit of money. But I do realise that the internet is driven by porn. I mean, it's been the internet's driving force ever since the internet was invented back in 1985. Pornography and Twitch is softcore pornography. And no matter what you say, I mean, it's semi-naked 20-year-old women in hot tubs licking microphones and being paid to do it, and it's softcore pornography. Or the other way to make it on Twitch is to play Call of Duty like a million other people do. And Call of Duty and Fortnite are the world's most boring games because all you do is run around and shoot things. It's like Doom hasn't changed in 20 years. If you know what Doom, if you remember Doom, I was playing Doom 40 years ago actually. It's never changed. It's never changed at all. And it's no skill, no strategy. You just go around and shoot things. That's not me. So that's I'd rather be the Reddit granddad, I think. JD just said, love your streams, man. You like the Reddit dad. I'd rather be the Reddit granddad. I'd rather be everybody's favourite granddad. I'd really like to be everybody's favourite granddad. That would be nice. That'd be nice. And then I'm getting to the age now where I'm going to end up playing Father Christmases, aren't I? I'm going to end up playing Santa. Although I haven't got the hair. Chemotherapy's robbing me of that. But yeah, I like that. The coolest old dude on Reddit, I've been called. And now I'm like the Reddit dad. I like that. I like that. I've got a dad hat. Did you know I've got a dad hat? Look, there's my dad hat. There we go. I'll put my dad hat on. Okay. I've got my Reddit hat on. Right. Okay. Armageddon Engineer says at cellular level, it's a bit like the siege of Mariupol, Ukraine, but with nukes when it's cell versus cell. You're absolutely right. And I just believe it's. I just believe it's the power of self-help. I'm not leaving it all to science. I'm giving myself some self-help. So that's my faith. That's my faith. Guys, I wish you could all join me at the pub. I wish you could. None of you actually live any near me. I wish you did. I wish you lived near me and you could actually physically come down the pub with me on a Sunday night and join in my streams. I wish you could. I'll buy you a pint. You know, just come and join me. Make the effort. You know, if you did, just come and join me. Let's just chill together and let's stream together. Let's talk shit to the rest of the world. That would be great. That would, wouldn't it? Eh? So, JD, are you the guy in Camden? Just out of curiosity, are you the guy in Camden? I just want to check that one. Make sure that I know what I'm talking about. If not, I'll shut up. Because if you are, I've got a plan to go to Camden in the next couple of days. So in the next week or so, if the weather stays nice. I wish you could. I mean, if you're a non-drinker, you know, come and join me in a pub. We'll have a pint. We'll share a Scotch egg together. Ah. The process is called pyropulsosis. Yeah. It probably is. It probably is. Let me just bear with me. Bear with me for a second. Are you all right in there? Chubb? Are you all right? All right. You've been quiet, that was all. All right. Just checking to make sure my partner hasn't dropped dead. Oh, I've not seen her for nearly, how long have I been streaming for? Oh, fucking hell. 2.25 hours. It's just gone midnight, so I'm going to end this stream in the next 10 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I'm enjoying myself, but I'm going to end it because I haven't eaten yet and I need to eat. And I've just drunk 2 cans of Red Stripe, so we'll start to do the wind down now. My next stream will be on YouTube and Twitch. Will be about 9:45 Monday night. Same with Reddit, about 9:45 Monday night, where I'll be streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Reddit at the same time, unless I become a Twitch affiliate, and then I'll have to knock Twitch off because you're not allowed to co-stream if you're a Twitch affiliate. I also stream. I am, mate. English bloke in Canmore. You're the bloke in Canmore or Camden. Look, I'm talking about Camden. I'm talking specifically, Joe Deitch. I'm talking about Camden Market and the stables. Is that you? Are you the guy that we've had the conversation with about Camden Market and the stables? I'll wait for your answer on that one. Where the fuck was I? Yeah, I'll see you later, Mohammed. I'm just winding down, but you've got a good 5 minutes here. But thank you for being here, Mohammed, and thank you for the interesting chat. It's always nice to get different people's viewpoints on different things, and you've certainly got a different viewpoint to me, and it's nice to be able to debate it without any animosity, which is where these debates normally go. But you've been extremely great. You haven't tried to ram your religion down my throat, and at the same time, I don't think I tried to ram my atheism down your throat. I'm a great believer in if you believe, then you believe and live and let live, if that makes sense. But it's nice chatting to you, Mohammed, as always. Very nice chatting to you. Yeah. So there's that. Right, Armageddon. Yeah, I'm sure that the processes are something I don't want to think about. Not now. I've had 2 cans of beer and I'm starving hungry, so I'm going to be raiding the fridge. It reminds me of when I smoke weed. That's what you do when you smoke weed. You raid the fridge. I don't smoke weed anymore. I stopped that 3 years ago and stopped smoking. that was one of the best things I ever did, stopping smoking. I didn't know it at the time because when I stopped smoking, I didn't know what was just around the corner. I didn't know that I'd be forced to retire. A few months later, I stopped smoking January 2019. I didn't know that in March 2020, I'd be forced to take retirement because of the COVID pandemic. Well, giving up smoking actually put me in a very good position financially to be able to do that without suffering too much of a loss. So I'm rather glad that I did that. Oh right, okay, JD. Sorry, my mistake. No, I talked to so many people, trying to remember their user IDs is a nightmare. So I've probably sort of half got you confused. I knew you were English. I could tell that by the way you said boozer. Most Americans wouldn't have a clue what that was. A Canadian would. Oh, an Australian would. But you know, that's one of those things. And yeah, don't forget about the kittens, JD. Always remember the kittens, right? The kittens, you cannot compete with the kittens. You cannot compete with the kittens. Nobody can compete with the kittens. So yeah, I'm going to be at the pub. I've got my audio. My audio always suffers when I'm at the pub. However, because I'm fully equipped, I've got. You're thinking, what the hell's that? Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, I shall tie up the bloody knot. Where are we? Oh, there we are. Oh, I do come fully equipped, you know, when I'm not all tangled up. This might interest you, Armageddon, if you're there. This might interest you, Armageddon. It might not. You might think it's a load of old bollocks, but I don't. Right, where are we? On the other end of that. I will be having this microphone on pub stream. You might recognise that. It's a lavalier microphone. It's actually a powered lavalier microphone, but it's connected to that. And you know what that is, don't you? Yeah, it's that. So I shall have that as a microphone, and there's my receiver, and that will be connected to my mobile phone. So I shall have all that set up for Sunday. So hopefully my audio quality will be exceptional. And I actually have three transmitters and a receiver that is capable of dealing with 5 mics at the same time. So I can actually have guests if I want to. So that will solve some of the problems at the pub, because it means that you can hear me without the microphones. When you stream on Reddit, the microphones, you have to rely on the internal microphone of your phone, and that's like a nuclear weapon. All right, it's a very broad spectrum thing that picks up sound from all different directions. Whether a lavalier microphone like that is very much a sniper's rifle, and if I've got it on my lapel, it will only pick up my voice and it will isolate the rest of the sound, so you're not struggling to hear me around the everything else that's going on. Plus, I will have proper lighting there as well, because that's one thing I have noticed with people when they're streaming, that they don't have very good lighting and they tend to get lost in the background of their stream. I'm not knocking them. I've just noticed that they're not lighting themselves properly. So I have proper lighting that I'll be bringing with me on Sunday. So hopefully it'll make my stream look a bit better. Left coast blank hawk. I don't need a FLIR, forward-looking infrared radar, to know who's drunk. Right, I can just tell who's drunk by the fact they fall over a lot. That's those are the things that I'm bringing with me. It's not a major light. It's not cinema barn door lights, but it is a US rechargeable video light. And I shall have that with me as well as the radio mics. So just to try and improve my quality. yeah, anyway, right. So I said I was going to go in 10 minutes, and that 10 minutes is up now. Let me take that hat off because I'm sweating like crazy. Oh, right, people. I will be back on Monday night at about 21:45 UK time. In the mornings, some mornings, I can't guarantee that I'll do it every morning, but a lot of mornings I stream in the Gamer Lounge when I'm playing Empires and Allies. If I get up and I fancy having a quick burst at Empires and Allies, I'll put it on Reddit and I'll do a bit of streaming on Empires and Allies. I went out on Twitch and YouTube this morning as well. So you can watch me play games and I will chat. I've got my camera and I will chat. Other than that, the next stream will be Sunday night at starting at around about 7 p.m. UK time. I can't guarantee exactly when because it all depends on what time I get up the pub and how I feel. I'll be doing a live stream from the pub where I'll start off completely sober, and by the end of the evening I'll probably be completely wankered and have to call an Uber to get me home because I'll be incapable of driving my wheelchair. That's my Sunday night. So until then, I will see you all then. So I'm going to call it a night. So on Reddit, I'm just going to put up my goodbye screen. And that's going to go up now. So goodbye, Reddit. I haven't got a goodbye screen for YouTube. Reddit can't hear me now. Reddit's gone. So it's just YouTube and Twitch. I haven't got a goodbye screen for YouTube and Twitch yet because, like I said, it's a different format to Reddit. And all of my motion graphics are in 16.9, 16 by 9, and of course YouTube and Twitch are 9 by 16. No, yeah, YouTube and Twitch are 16 by 9, whereas Reddit is 9 by 16. So it's all a bit complicated. It's all a bit complicated, but I am working on it. But like I said, I've been ill for the last couple of weeks, and I'm finally turned the corner now. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm going to turn my lights off. You'll notice the difference as I turn the lights off. There's my miniature key light. There's the first one going off. That's the high level key light. That's actually what's lighting behind me. The main key light, which is lighting my face, is up there. I'm just going to turn that off now. Oh, that's a big panel light. There we go. That's that off. See the difference it makes with the lighting? It means that you're not as pronounced. Oh, that's it, right. Alexa, set bedroom 1%.
Okay.
There we go. There's the last of the lights off. So that's all the lights off. So I'll catch you, Reddit and YouTube. I will catch you another time. So if not, I'll see you on Monday night. So bye.